My name is Laura Anderson. I'm 34 years old, and what I'm about to confess changed my life forever. It started out so innocent, just me helping someone who needed guidance. But it went too far, and in the process, I crossed a line I never thought I would. When I married David, I believed our lives would be a steady journey of love and growth. David was dependable, grounded, the kind of man everyone trusted. He worked long hours as a financial advisor, and while he provided for us, he was often absent emotionally. Over the years, our conversations became short, our intimacy faded, and I felt like I was living beside him, not with him. Then came Ethan. He wasn't a stranger, he was one of David's oldest friends. At 28, he was younger, ambitious, but unsure of himself in many ways. He had just started a new job in construction and was trying to find his place in life. David, always practical, brushed off Ethan's struggles as growing pains. But when Ethan needed encouragement, advice, and someone to listen, it wasn't David he turned to, it was me. It began with simple conversations. Ethan would drop by sometimes while David was at work and ask for my advice. He wanted to know how to handle stress, how to present himself better, how to carry confidence when he didn't feel it. I offered what wisdom I could, happy to feel useful, happy to feel like someone needed my words. But slowly, things began to shift. The more we talked, the more Ethan opened up not just about work, but about his doubts, his fears, his loneliness. He told me things he said he couldn't tell David, and in his honesty, I saw a vulnerability that drew me in. He looked at me with eyes that searched for approval, for reassurance. And every time I gave it, I felt a warmth that had been missing in my own marriage for years. One afternoon, he came over to show me plans for a project he was working on. His excitement was contagious, and I couldn't help but smile as he explained every detail. "I've never had someone believe in me the way you do," he said softly, and the words hung in the air, heavier than either of us expected. It was in that moment I realized how dangerous this connection was becoming, but instead of pulling away, I leaned closer. I told myself it was just encouragement, just kindness. Yet deep inside, I knew it was more. Over the next few weeks, the tension grew. Every time Ethan visited, there was an unspoken energy between us. His glances lingered too long, his compliments carried more weight, and my heart raced in ways it hadn't in years. When our hands brushed one evening as I passed him a cup of coffee, it felt like fire under my skin. I pulled back quickly, but the damage was already done. We both knew this was no longer innocent. The night everything changed, David was away on a business trip. Ethan came over to ask for help preparing for an important meeting. We sat together, going through his notes, and I could feel the tension thick in the room. He looked at me, nervous but intense, and said, "Laura, I don't know what I'd do without you." His words melted something inside me. For so long, I had felt unseen, unappreciated, forgotten. But here was a man who not only noticed me, but valued me in ways my husband no longer did. I told myself I was just giving him strength, just being supportive, but when his hand covered mine, I didn't pull away. In that quiet moment, surrounded by nothing but the sound of our breathing, the line between guidance and desire blurred. I knew it was wrong. I knew I was betraying David, betraying my vows, betraying the woman I thought I was. But I also knew I couldn't deny how alive I felt. What happened between us that night wasn't planned. It wasn't rational. It was raw, emotional, and overwhelming. And though it filled me with guilt, it also filled me with a kind of passion I hadn't felt in years. The days that followed were filled with secrecy and confusion. Ethan tried to act normal, but every time he looked at me, I could see the unspoken truth in his eyes. I tried to focus on my marriage, but David's distance only highlighted the chasm between us. I don't know how long we can keep this secret, or whether it will eventually come to light. But I do know one thing. What began as me helping a young man find his confidence became something neither of us could control. And once that line was crossed, there was no going back. This isn't a story I'm proud of, it's a confession. A reminder that sometimes when someone makes you feel seen after years of invisibility, temptation can become stronger than reason. He needed my guidance, but I never expected it would go this far.